What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. My name is Joop from the Clips, aka Macaroni with the Cheese. Today is 17 February of 2026, and today I have a brand new videos for you. What I do is every day I make stocks about crypto, investing, and basically things that I really do have a lot of interest in, and I share with you something to learn about. But lesser than that, I'm just a guy on YouTube telling stories, guys, and I've been doing it for quite long now. But for now, I have a brand new video for you guys, and we're gonna talk about the current mark, what's basically happening, and we're gonna talk about Palantir, and that's basically the main goal subject that I'm handling this video. So with that being said, let's get started. So how I started with this Palantir is I basically saw this tweet of Kim.com, and he had a breaking story about Palantir. Palantir was allegedly hacked, and an AI agent was used to gain super user access, and here's what the hackers actually found. Peter Thiel and Alex Karp commit mass surveillance of world leaders and titans of industry on massive scale. They have thousands of hours of transcript and searchable conversations of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk. They have backdoored the devices, cars, jets of world leaders and accumulated the biggest archive of blackmail material. Palantir is creating nuclear and bioweapon capabilities for Ukraine and is working closely with the CIA to defeat Russia. They believe they are 1 year away. The plan to achieve this by keeping Russia busy with meaningless peace negotiations. Palantir is responsible of the majority of Palestinian death in Gaza. They have developed the AI targeting for Israel. So, as you can see, there's a lot of commotion about Palantir. And I also talked about Palantir in my videos on TikTok, that I had a little bit hard time of making the decision to invest in Palantir or not. I do not own any stocks of Palantir, but it's very interesting to see in the world that we live. So what is Palantir? So Palantir is a software company that's being used by a lot of governments, CIA, the whole politic realm. And Peter Thiel is involved, and we also got the CEO, Alex Karp. And Alex Karp been on X a few times. No, I have to say, Alex Karp been on a lot of meetings, and he's been doing such as remarks and basically telling what the plan is with Palantir, and also likes to kill people. So maybe we should start with this guy, Alex Karp, telling us what he think about Palantir. And I think it was during an earnings call with his investors. But let's just see what this guy has to say about Palantir.
Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math, the burden of reading what the Rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Doing a lot of it with nations, and he's also not afraid to kill them where needed. So that's basically the stock that you've been investing in. But let's take a deeper dive of what Palantir is. Palantir currently now pre-market $128 per stock, and it had a great run. At its lows, it was around $6, and it had a major run in 2024, so 2 years ago, and it has a top of $207 per share, and now it's at 128. So what is Palantir, guys? What is Palantir? So Palantir is a software company where they basically do a lot of mean stuff. And let's just read this article. Palantir is the most dangerous tech company you might not have heard of. It uses artificial intelligence to weaponize our data against us. Built with CIA funding to support the US war on terror. Palantir is a weapons company disguised as a software startup. Now it helps Israel plan its military operations and power ICE deportation machine. And it's everywhere. Palantir is used by military, police forces, banks, hospital, and even your local pharmacy. This technology is designed to help governments track and target individuals, guys. It's killing people abroad and can be weaponized against everyone. This is why it must be stopped. So this is the line where you have to question yourself, am I supporting this? Because the technology is great, but we all do know that technology is always being used for the benefit of the people. But things like Palantir are basically at the other side of peace negotiations, at the other sides of living in free, being libertarian, being democratic, because it gives me a more authoritarian vibe when I think about Palantir. So let's continue. Even in my at work, they had the word Palantir fall in a discussion. So it could be that we are already too deep, but let's continue. So what does Palantir actually do? Palantir vacuums up massive amounts of data collected by governments and corporations. Palantir AI algorithm then combines all this data into a single gigantic data set and looks for patterns that are hard to see. For example, it might find the location of someone who overstayed their visa for ICE. Immigration Informer uses Palantir to centralize data which can include our known address, phone numbers, driving records, credit history, immigration history, health data, and social media presence all in one place. Palantir tool has fueled some of the largest raids on immigrant communities in ICE history. So it's basically AI is being used. I heard Palantir in the same context as genocide as a service. That's basically what Palantir is doing. And it's a great technology, but where it's being used for is not very ethical. It's not that I'm very proud of. That we as the human race has to come so far just to get other people in control for earthly things. You know how many people we have? 8 billion people, and we all are special of our own. So this is the side where evil comes into play. So that's give me the vibes of Palantir. So that's why I wanted to make this deep dive in what Palantir is. How does Palantir support genocide and war? The Israeli government began using Palantir software in 2014 and significantly scaled up its partnership during genocide on Gaza, which began in 2023. Palantir CEO Alex Karp has said, "I'm proud that we're supporting Israel in every way we can." The Israeli military has used Palantir technology to plan attacks in Lebanon and Gaza. Guys, Palantir also works closely with the US military. According to the CEO, our weapons software is in every combat situation I'm aware of. Palantir executive Shaim Sarkar has said Palantir worked for the Pentagon. This is Generation Manhattan Project, referring to the World War program that developed the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima. Guys, let me give you some perspective on those guys. Because when we see those guys who are making a lot of money, creating new technology, and are getting funded by the U.S. governments, you got to keep in mind that these guys are basically doing a task in that they have to do in how what's the word, in partnership with the government. They cannot be so big without the government, guys. So everything that those guys are doing is always in conversation with the governments. And it's more. It's Elon Musk, also Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook of Apple. We got this guy of Google, Microsoft, Hansen of Nvidia. So just to give you more perspective, these guys do not do those big projects without talking to the government. It's not possible. So the government has to know and to see what they are doing, and if it's benefits for the government. That's basically it. So let's continue. Where we at? We were here. So they used Palantir technology to plan attacks in Lebanon and Gaza. Palantir also works closely with the U.S. military and weapons service in every combat I'm aware of. So, and Peter Thiel, I'm not gonna go too deep in Peter Thiel, but basically in a nutshell, this is what Palantir is, and it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. So yeah. Our software powers real time. This is what they're saying on their website, our software. So, but you all can see they're the big guys. And keep in mind, Palantir used to be a software which basically software that was built to look for anti-fraud cases. So let me read this one. Based on available information, Palantir has evolved from supporting early anti-fraud efforts to become a central data integration platform for U.S. intelligence, defense, and law enforcement agency. Because at a certain point, Palantir was basically developing a software where you could find fraud efforts. And at certain points, the government was like, if you can search anti-fraud efforts, you basically can also search anti-criminal efforts. So basically you using AI. So evolution in function, database consolidation, broader security application. Yeah, this is basically the big boy. So also ICE been using Palantir, and they had been paying a 30 million contract, with the contract running through September 2027. So ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also use Palantir, guys. So with knowing this, you have to ask yourself, am I investing in a stock like this? Because we do want to make some money, but we do not want to have blood on our hands. So given some technicals, it's pulling back. The whole market is pulling back. And we have just to wait and see what the market's gonna do. We got the SPY at 681. The market is open, by the way. And you just have to wait and see. The market basically having a pullback. This was the top. We had the top around 696. And as you can see, we basically are coming down. And also keep in mind, we got the Fear and Greed Index. The Fear and Greed Index was around, let me see, was around 35. We are officially in fear, as you can see. Bombs, 36. So we are in fear, and you know what I'm saying, guys. When we are in fear, that's when we are greedy. That's when we buy, you know. So yeah. So this was basically one of the things that I want to share with you guys before entering this stock. Guys, I hope you learned something today. That was my short story of Palantir, what company it is. Should you not invest in it? That's a decision that you have to make for yourself. But a lot of people always ask me, when is the time to buy, guys? And I can tell you, this is a time to buy. A lot of stocks are basically down, and yeah, we have to wait and see. A lot of stocks are down. Y'all need to follow this guy. This guy is just dropping gems. Gems on gems. Gems on gems. So, CRM, minus 22%. Adobe, minus 25%. SoFi, 25%. Shopify, minus 26%. Palantir, minus 30%. Netflix, minus 34%. ServiceNow, minus 43%. Bitcoin, minus 44%. Hood, minus 48%. Ethereum, minus 55%. Coinbase, minus 58%. And Duolingo, minus 63%. And the last but not least, Hims. You all know Hims with the Ozempic, the drugs that where you can lose weight. So people are always asking me, yo, what is the best time to buy? And the best time to buy was yesterday. But the best time today is basically today. So we have to wait and see what's happening, guys. But I'm a big believer in Amazon. Amazon is my #1 stock. And I have been seeing that it came down. Let me see in real time. Bomb. It's $200 precise. I think it can go lower. I think it can go lower. I need it to go lower. Between this line and this line, it's between 188 and 160. I do think Palantir can go lower, guys. So with that being said, I hope you learned something today. And yeah, we doing it, guys. We are doing it. Investing in stocks. And I hope you learned something from my Palantir videos. And I will see you guys in the next video.